In this video, you're gonna learn why pro surfers are never below a certain body fat percentage, how they get and keep these waterman bodies year round, and why it's 10 times easier to do this than any traditional weight loss or muscle building program. But most importantly, I'm gonna show you how changing your goals and following this same path makes getting in shape so much easier for you. So let's do it. So surfers are professional athletes and the demands of the ocean are super high. So why aren't they completely shredded with this high level of activity? It's because the demands of the ocean are so high. They can't be depleted at all. So they can't cut calories to get shredded. They need as much energy as possible, but also they can't lift too much weight and bulk up because that kills endurance. They need that happy medium. So instead of measuring progress with the mirror or the scale aesthetically, they measure their progress with performance. So things like endurance, breath hold time, how their session actually goes, the waves that they're catching. So that's real feedback that is performance based. So I actually call this your performance weight. So the ideal body weight for you for surfing, where you're still in great shape, you have all the fitness things that you need, but you aren't depleted, and it's a happy medium. And the cool thing about aiming for your performance weight and setting performance goals is you get that great aesthetic body anyways, but you feel great as well too. So I'm gonna explain to you in a really simple way exactly how you can get there. All right, so the easiest way to visualize and understand that is with this fitness goals triangle. So these are three of the core fitness goals that are all opposing each other. So you have performance, you have fat loss, and you have mass. So performance, I would think of someone like an endurance athlete, like a triathlete, where they measure their fitness in time, right? So it's like really black and white based on performance. Fat loss, you can just think of someone who's like 5% body fat, ultra shredded, and then mass, that's just like as big as possible. So some of the biggest freaks in the world as far as athletes go are kind of a combination of the two. Like if you think about bodybuilders, for instance, they have very low fat and very large mass. So they're kind of in the middle right here. You can only take up one spot on this triangle, right? So as you move towards one, you move away from the other. So being a high level on both of these is very rare. Whereas full mass, that would probably be someone like a power lifter, where they want no depletion at all. So they don't aim for fat loss at all. They try to get as big as possible, eat as much as possible. Like the world's strongest men, you know, those guys. And then the fat loss guys are guys who just get ultra shredded and they lose muscle because of that. Super hard to be in the middle. Someone who would be kind of between mass and performance, I would think of someone like a Laird Hamilton. Dude's huge, he's massive, and he has insane performance. But he's a freak outlier that most people aren't gonna be able to get to there. He has just great genetics and honestly an entire lifetime of performance training. So guys that are more like I'd say like John Florence or Kelly Slater are more here. They're away from the top, but they're really high performance, but they do have muscle mass too, and they aren't aiming for fat loss. So it's almost like a perfect, it's kind of right there, which is cool. And so it's really important that if you aim for this with a bit of a focus on muscle, you get all the benefits. You won't be depleted at all. When you ignore fat loss, you kind of get it as well anyways. So I'd say the perfect is kind of more like right here, right? And then the way you get there is by setting performance goals. So instead of being like, okay, I want to put on muscle in this spot, or I want to be this percent body fat, performance goals are things like, I want to surf for 4 hours without getting tired. I want to hold my breath under stress for 60 seconds. I want to be able to recover my breath in under 10 seconds. All those things are what you set your goals as. The training that aligns with that is what's going to get you there too. So you'll automatically start moving towards here, but then by exercising and surfing, you're gonna be putting on the muscle, so you'll protect your body. So that's the easiest way to describe it. So if you can avoid those things, it actually makes life a whole lot easier, because cutting for fat is painful. Like if you've ever had a New Year's resolution, you're like, hey, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna lose weight, I'm gonna eat healthy. It is so painful, and that's why people always fail, because it relies on willpower. Willpower runs out. Whereas performance-based goals, they're pleasure-based. So if you're like, I want to surf better, catch more waves, it has a built-in reward system that's almost immediate, especially with things like paddle training. Those work fast. So you get in the water, catch a few extra waves, you get that reward. We're just reward-based animals. That helps fuel us. So if you're catching more waves, you're feeling better, you stick with your program. So that's why performance-based is so much better and so much easier. So if you think about the pro surfers and their lifestyles too, this is why this is so important, is because that's why they're not shredded, right? Because they're aiming 100% for this. Any direction they go in either of these directions takes away from their surfing. So it's really cool now. If you can look at it this way, you can see how you can get to your best shape of your life, the best surfing of your life, but it is 10 times easier than those old goals of traditional weight loss and putting on muscle. Those things have very low reward systems, and they take a long time, and they're very, very painful. This is pleasure-based, has a short time frame to get that first reward, which pays you back right away. So it's very, very powerful stuff. So that's why pro surfers, just about every single one of them fit within a very small space. They almost all have the exact same bodies with just a few variations here and there. It's because it's all performance-based. It's the ocean is so demanding, like I said before, that you can't bend on that at all because the ocean will crush you immediately. So you have to set your goals appropriately and set your lifestyle appropriately too. So what to do next if you want this high performance body? I would recommend 3 main things. Number 1 is paddle training with these paddle bands. Paddle training is the ultimate. It builds muscle, helps with your breath, and it's very, very high endurance minded. So it improves surfing dramatically. So it's like you surfed every single day. The second thing though, I recommend is breath training. Now, breath training is 100% performance based. It's not gonna burn fat. It's not like hardcore like calorie. It doesn't burn tons of calories, so it's not very hard on you, and it doesn't put on muscle mass, but it increases endurance. It increases your lung capacity. It builds more red blood cells. It improves your body's ability to communicate with your muscles. Massive, massive important thing to do, and it's free. Breath training is so easy. Number 3, and I call this surfing patterns. Surfing patterns is a mix between flexibility, range of motion, and strength. So the best way to define this is instead of training muscles, like a bicep curl trains one muscle, you train movements. So things like pop-up, paddling, duck dives. You can be more basic too, like just things like squatting, lunging, rotational exercises. So all those things that train movement patterns, so that when you get out to the ocean, they happen easily, but you have a performance body that's not restricted by muscle isolation exercises. And then flexibility is like the foundation of it all. I always like to put it this way: stretching is the real fountain of youth. So if you stretch, it improves your performance, gives you more energy, improves your mood. On the flip side, if you don't stretch, you feel older. So it holds it all up. And then that's the final thing about your performance weight is having the right body weight matters so much. It improves your endurance, it improves your longevity, your health. It makes popping up easier. You can go down to a shorter board, or if you just keep the same boards and you have less weight, those boards will surf better. There's zero downside to getting to your performance weight. It is the ultimate thing. You look great, you feel great, you surf great. It's so much easier. Using passion as fuel to pull you into a great body composition. Your confidence will go through the roof. You'll like what you see in the mirror. Your self-esteem will go up. Wave count will go up. Like I said, there's no downside to getting your performance weight. It's easy. So if you'd like our help with it, exactly what we do, all the training I talked about, we provide. And if you want more information about exactly how we do it, there's a link down below in the description. It's a free video. It's called 3 Steps to Thousands of Waves: paddle training, breath training, surfing patterns. I'm gonna explain exactly our process step by step. And if you're interested, I'll tell you how you can get involved with that too. My name is Kyle Russ. This is How's Your Mind. Thanks for watching.